tonight we wanted to just briefly go through a State of the City report. It's about three pages, and there's some attachments here at the back that I've asked that we share those here at the end of the presentation. But really, after serving 4 years on the council and now being in this role, I'm honored to be here and serve with these fine elected officials. And really, I'm here to just say that today announced that the state of our beloved city is strong, prosperous, and growing. I believe the composition of this strength is found in 5 key areas: leadership, financial, infrastructure, economic development, and community development. So I'll touch on each one of those briefly. Leadership. Leadership strength is a function of an articulated vision and an unwavering persistence in the actualization of that vision. Your Riverton elected officials have created for the first time a vision and a mission statement and 8 key strategic priorities. These guiding documents were crafted at an all-day-long planning session that was held on January 13th that all elected officials attended. The vision statement is a short phrase that conveys our hope for the future, and that is this: preserving our past, citizens, families, businesses, and leaders unite in building a community where we can live, work, and play. The mission statement describes what the city will do and how it will do it. Riverton City provides essential services that enhance the quality of life and the sense of community for all citizens. We foster kind, open, and responsive interactions, generating positive citizen involvement and innovative solutions. Leaders, citizens, and employees hold each other accountable to meet the needs of the community. And like I said, after that vision and mission statement were created, we actually created strategic priorities that will be the focus over the next 4 years. And those 8 priorities are: number 1, safe and healthy neighborhoods with balanced opportunities for live, work, and play; promoting a thriving business climate that supports the needs of our residents; number 3, create a welcoming, historic downtown destination. Called that one out specifically, creating a welcoming, historic downtown destination. Number 4, establish vibrant parks, recreation, and events that build bridges within the community. Number 5, well-connected community with properly maintained infrastructure and utilities. 6, a highly engaged and informed residents. 7, operational excellence. And 8, fiscally responsible governance. I also believe, personally, as we speak about leadership, that Riverton City has an obligation to engage and inform residents to the greatest extent possible. This outreach should also foster an environment where other leaders can be developed and help carry our great community into the future. Riverton is financially strong. Fiscally responsible governance is often touted, thrown out there as a platitude, but we actually live it here at Riverton City. One key example of that is the way in which this body, the council last year actually helped move us out of the Salt Lake Valley Law Enforcement Service area and into the Riverton Law Enforcement Service area. After working hard to pass legislation last year that enabled us to do this, the council ultimately adopted the new replacement service area, changing the way we pay for unified police department services and saving property taxpayers in Riverton some $500,000 this year in 2018. Further, it puts us, I believe, it puts us on a more sustainable path going forward. It creates a higher level of accountability for elected officials and a greater flexibility in staffing and meeting the unique law enforcement needs of our community. Another point on fiscal stability. After more than doubling sales and franchise debt 5 years ago, from 18 to 36 million, we have seen total debt per capita fall considerably in the last few years, from 47 million to 37 million, and per capita debt from $1,153 to $863. Our bond rating was recently upgraded to AAA with the Fitch rating agency, and we are one of the few communities in the state that actually has this coveted top rating. Comparison of utility fees, which we can put up, Jason would. When you compare the average use, you can see that 10 resident would pay $42 versus that of the surrounding communities like saving. And of course, Riverton City has not assessed a property tax since 2012. All this is done with an incredible workforce, and if we can our workforce. So we have as the lowest employee cost and full-time equivalent employees for when you compare the 5 surrounding cities. It's not this one, but you're, there you go. Yes, right there. So you can see that we have 2.54 employees per 1,000 residents, and at a cost of about $206 per resident. Number 3, Riverton is strong in infrastructure. Ensuring roads, water facilities, and other infrastructure is one of the most important functions of city government. Our city is anticipated to continue growing through approximately the year 2030. So out to year 2030, where we will have about 55,000 residents at that time. It's anticipated. Impact fees are assessed to developers to cover the impact of new construction to the underlying city infrastructure. In the past year, city, county, and state projects for just transportation totaled about $80 million in Riverton. The Redwood Road widening project, for example, is $40 million alone. So there's a lot going on. In addition to that money that's put in by state and county, the city has outlined a capital facilities plan that shows us contributing some $66 million in infrastructure projects between now and the year 2030. Think of stormwater, culinary water, and secondary water, and parks projects, and roads projects. The transportation projects are really at the top here. The city, in addition to the UDOT Redwood Road widening project I mentioned, will begin soon along expanding 126 between Bangerter and Mountain View Corridor. 132nd South, 4500 West, 4150 are currently being planned or developed by the city and will facilitate critical access to the Mountain View Village development or commercial center. And then, of course, UDOT is looking now at funding the freeway-style interchanges on Bangerter Highway at 126th, and then soon to be at 134th and 27th, which will turn Bangerter into just a continuous road without any stops. These improvements along Bangerter and including the Mountain View corridor improvements will assist greatly in east-west connectivity and taking traffic off of a very busy 126th right now and 134th. The culinary and secondary water that we have here in Riverton have seen significant improvements in terms of both quality and supply. In addition to the recent switch over to the Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District, which improved our water quality by a factor of about 10 in some areas of the city, we've also planned and currently building a new 5 million gallon water tank to ensure that we have met or will meet the demand for peak demand for culinary water use through the build out of our city. We're one of the few cities, I think, maybe the only city in the county that offers secondary water to all of its residents, which helps keep costs low, as you can see through the utility comparison. Riverton is strong in economic development. We are concerned with economic development, and it's part 2 of our 8 strategic priorities relate to economic development specifically because it brings with it the opportunity for enhanced sales and franchise taxes. Given the fact that Riverton does not assess a property tax, then those sales and franchise taxes become more important so that we can keep other services and fees low. And secondly, this type of development brings retail, restaurant, entertainment, I believe significantly increases not just the convenience for all of us as residents, but also improves the quality of life. The last 4 years, just to give you a comparison, some numbers, we have increased sales tax in the 2013-14 fiscal year from about $5 million to about $6.6 million projected today. So that is an increase well above 25% in just the last few years. And with the Mountain View Village development that's currently underway, we're looking at about 1.6 million square feet of office and retail that's going up along that northeast corner of Mountain View and 134th. And many projections show that we will receive millions more in sales tax revenue as a result of just that one project. We also are interested in the economic development front and reinvigorating the old downtown. This effort began last year when we engaged an engineering firm to come up with concepts for this important historic corridor. We will begin focusing on initiatives that will develop this area to realize the sit-down restaurant, specialty retail, and office use that I've heard so many of you ask for. The realization of such will create or improve upon two great defined destination centers in our community: an outdoor lifestyle center at Mountain View Village and a historic, walkable old downtown. We are literally enveloped by other regional significant growth opportunities and projects, all of which can have an impact to Riverton. The Point of the Mountain Commission has recently come up with their proposed scenarios, and we also see the impact the planning decisions of neighboring cities have on us and our roadway. So it's going to be important in the future to work with collaboratively with we can minimize these impacts. Lastly, Riverton is strong in community development. Perhaps one of the most endearing priorities for me personally is that priority of creating a highly engaged and informed residents. And the participation from all of you, I've said over and over, is what turns our city into a community. The previous council made significant progress to this goal by creating the position of communications director, improving our website, establishing a social media presence to enhance the level of resident engagement, and the ability to stay informed through identifying initiatives such as surveys, the Mayor's Minute, launching a new mobile app for residents, and reconstituting a newsletter on a bi-monthly basis. All this are making, we're going to continue to build upon engaging residents more and informing residents more. Participation in boards and committees is also an initiative that will aid in engaging more of you in policy making and community development. In addition to our planning and historic preservation commissions, formulating standing committees that allow residents to provide direct input and ideas to our governing body in relation to economic development, parks, recreation, and events are a priority. So again, I'm proud today to announce the state of our city as strong, prosperous, and growing. And this strength will continue as we realize our vision and our mission statement and the priorities that we've laid out, that this governing body has laid out. And I want to give a special thanks to the City Council for their dedication and their vision, for all the time that they put in. And I also want to thank our city employees for their service and their hard work. They truly do strive for operational excellence, which is another one of our priorities and our goals. And I want to thank all of you, the residents, for your participation in our city and making our community one that's thriving and prosperous. So thank you all.